Hello everyone, it's Lindsay, and today I wanted to share with you how I am documenting in my journaling Bible. I'm using the daily scripture from the YouVersion Bible app. It's a free app that you can download, and they do have scriptures for each day, and so I thought I would hop in and document today's. I don't always document the daily scriptures, but this one just really went well with everything that my family's been going through the last month or so. So I'm documenting in Psalm 121 verse 2, says, "My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth." That is something that I've had to hold on to the last few weeks, just that I can't do it on my own. It's not my own strength. My help comes from God. I have to lean into him, and that is something that I've been doing the last few weeks. And so I wanted just to put together a little, entry to that, and just kind of pray out my heart and just my thankfulness for his strength and how he came through this last month. I am working in one of the new illustrating Bibles. This is the Psalm and Proverbs version, so it just has those two books in it. I will have it linked down below for you guys. And I'm using a variety of products from Felicity Jane. So I am primarily using some items from the Mix and Match Kit number 2. That is the kit that I curated for this month. If you did not see my unboxing, I will link it down below. It explains why there's not a new collection this month, what is up with the Mix and Match collections, the digital collections, all that goodness. So definitely check that out down below. And so I went ahead and did some prep off camera. I took the Jenny floral paper from that Mix and Match Kit number 2 and went ahead and fussy cut out some of the florals ahead of time. This paper is perfect for fussy cutting, and it's a way to kind of make your papers go a little further, create your own embellishments. I'll show you how we kind of dress these up today. And then I also use the Sarah set of dies, I'll have that link down below, to die cut out some leaves from the solid papers in the Mix and Match kit. I've pulled out some die cut labels and things from that kit, as well as the alphas from that kit. And then I pulled some other things from my stash to mix and match. That's what this is going to be all about this month. So I wanted to do some additional floral stamping in the background. So I pulled out a couple different sets that have florals in them that we can stamp out. I've also pulled out another gold alpha to pair with this alpha. And then I have the Hannah tulle bows, and I've just gone ahead and threaded it onto a small paper clip, a gold paper clip, and that's going to act as my tab for this page. So I was just trying to go through and use up some of my stash items. We may bring in a couple things as we go along. So let me go ahead and put you on fast forward, and we will put this entry together. Okay, so I've gone ahead and kind of temporarily laid out the florals and things where they are going to go on the page. They're not adhered down, and this will kind of change as I go through the page, but I'm going to stamp some background images. So what I'm doing here is just trying to pick out an ink that I want to use, but I did go ahead and pull out the Rebecca, Jenny, and Lindsay stamp sets because they had a variety of florals on them that would mix and match really well. So I've pulled this leaf stamp from the Rebecca set, and I'm going to stamp a few of these on the background. Once I've picked the color that I'm going to use, I do want these to be background images, so I'm trying to pick colors that'll be, more in the background, not too bold, not too vibrant. And since I've laid out those florals temporarily, I kind of have an idea of where I'll want to fill in some areas with these stamped images. Now, it's not going to be perfect because I will rearrange things, but this just kind of gives me a general idea, and I like the look of having different levels. So I've got some things stamped, some paper images, I'll have some things popped up on foam adhesive, and this just adds more dimension and interest to the page and kind of breaks up all those fussy cut florals. So here you can see I'm going in with one of the solid florals from the Lindsay stamp, and this particular one is actually meant to be the filler for the outline stamp on that stamp, but I'm just using it as a full flower, and then I'm using one of these centers from the Jenny stamp set to add some centers. So here definitely can mix and match, no problem. And then I'm also going in and taking that center and stamping in some darker centers on those fussy cut florals just to change them up a little bit. Now, to further add some detail to them, I've pulled out, this is from Amy Tangerine. It's a lot like a mouse pad, and I'm just using a little embossing stylus tool to run along the petals from the center to the outside, creating little grooves and details on the petals of these flowers. This just creates little creases, kind of fluffs them up, and makes them not look so flat. And now I can start gluing everything down. And like I said, I did die cut some of those leaves from the Sarah die set. Everything will be linked down below. I just checked, and everything that I'm using is still in the shop, so you can find that down below for you guys. So I'm just using a little bit of liquid adhesive in the center of those florals because I do want them to be kind of fluffy still and dimensional on the page. So I'm not adhering them flat down, and I'm trying to leave some area in between those two clusters where my title and my journaling is going to go. So I'm just trying to, kind of keep that in the back of my mind as I create these clusters. And there's a variety of ways that you can adhere down clusters like this. You can use press and seal to pick up all the pieces at once and add adhesive, but I didn't have any press and seal on hand, so I'm just going in and individually gluing down each of the flowers, working from back to front. And then once all those are adhered down, I'm going back in with some additional florals and leaves just to fill out those clusters a little bit more. So I pulled a leaf from the Rebecca stamp, and then I went back to that floral center from the Jenny stamp set, and I'm going to use it as a flower all on its own. Even though it's meant to be the center of the flowers, I'm just going to use that and some pink ink to kind of fill out those clusters even more. And I love, love, love how this came out. It totally transforms the look of that Jenny pattern paper and transforms it into something totally different, which was a lot of fun to play with and really didn't take a whole lot of product to create that. So now that everything's glued down, I'm going to go in and add some ink splatters in black and gold, and this is just going to kind of help the clusters tie into the page and fill in the page a little bit. They were looking a little bit, it was just looking a little naked, a little bare, so I added in the splatters just to kind of fill in some of the white area without it being too heavy. So now I can work on my title, and like I said, I've pulled out the what are these? The Shea chipboard alphas that come in the Mix and Match kit number 2. And then I also pulled out the Essentials Gold alphas. I like to mix and match different colors, textures, sizes, fonts when I'm creating my titles, just to kind of break them up a little bit so it's not such a heavy block of text on my project. And it's just another way to bring in a variety of color and textures. So I pulled out some of those labels from the Jill die cut shapes. I love the sentiments on them, and they really go along with the theme of the prayer journaling that I'm doing here. But I am going to pop those up on some foam adhesive. Again, just adding some different levels to this page. I am working in a coil bound journaling Bible, so I can add lots of fluff and dimension, and this Bible is going to expand to accommodate that, no problem. And then I topped off the page with that tulle bow. I just thread a gold paper clip on that tulle bow. And those are still in the shop. I will link them down below. And then I'm going to go ahead and add the date. I am stamping in some archival ink just because those die cuts can be a little slippery. And I'm going to layer that with another label. But there was lots of blank space on that label, so I did pull out an X and O stamp from the Lindsay stamp set to fill in a little bit and just add some more stamping to the page. And then I've also pulled out those epoxy shapes. I think they say Lindsay epoxy stickers. They are not. Those are actually the Elizabeth epoxy stickers. I have them in the wrong packaging, but those are linked down below as well. And initially I was just going to add a couple to my little label cluster down here, but as I started looking at them, I thought it would be fun to add a few of them to the centers of the florals, again, just to dress them up a little bit. When fussy cutting images like that, I like to add as much detail and mixed media to them to make them not look like flat fussy cut papers. So adding these epoxy circles to the centers just kind of dress them up even more and brings in some more of those different colors that I'm using on this page. So there's a look at the finished page. On the back here, you can see I did have a little bit of bleed through from that dye-based yellow ink, but not anything that I can't deal with in the future. And that is going to be it. So be sure to head on over to the Felicity Jane blog to see more close-up photos of this project. Check out the links down below for you guys so you can shop all the products that I used. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to leave those down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And until next time, thank you so much. Bye-bye.